I've always loved camping with my girlfriend, Mia. It was our escape from the noise, from the constant emails, the endless office lights, the same faces we saw every day. Nature gave us silence, and silence was our medicine. We lived just outside the Blue Ridge Mountains in Virginia, and almost every weekend we'd pick a new trail, a new hidden pocket of forest to call our temporary home. I used to say we'd camped everywhere, but now I never want to step into those woods again. That weekend, we found a short 3-mile trail online that led to a small, flat campsite tucked deep inside the trees. The reviews looked normal. People said it was peaceful, quiet, perfect for couples. But I wish I had paid more attention to the single 3-star review buried at the bottom. It said, "Something's wrong with this place." We left before dark. I brushed it off as paranoia. We packed up, drove about 45 minutes out of town, and pulled up to the trailhead. There was only one other car parked on the side of the dirt road, a sleek silver sedan. What caught our attention, though, was the fact that the passenger door was wide open, rain pouring directly inside. Mia frowned. Someone must have left it open by accident. I walked over, shut the door, and glanced inside. The front seat was soaked, but the car was spotless. Not a single item, bag, or even a water bottle. That's when I got the first uneasy feeling in my stomach. Something about that car felt too empty. We should have turned back. But we didn't. The rain started to pick up as we hiked, the kind that sounds like 1,000 tiny fingers drumming on the leaves. It took us nearly 2 hours to reach the end of the trail, and when we did, we realized someone had beaten us there. In the middle of the clearing was a small, single-person tent, dark green, motionless. Mia whispered, "Guess someone's already here." We didn't want to intrude, so we set up our tent on the far side of the clearing. We cooked some quick food, dried off our clothes, and settled in. Just as we started to relax, I heard faint voices outside, low, muffled, drowned under the sound of rain. I unzipped our tent a few inches. 2 men were kneeling outside, just a few feet away, looking straight at me. I jolted a bit, but they smiled. One of them said, "Hey there. Sorry if we scared you. We're in that tent over there. Been here a few days already." I forced a smile back, introduced us quickly, and zipped up the tent again. When I looked at Mia, she whispered, "They're weird. Why were they kneeling?" And she was right. Everything about them was off. They didn't look like campers. Their jeans and plain t-shirts were bone dry, even though it had been raining all day. And that small tent couldn't possibly fit 2 people. I left the zipper slightly open to keep watch. Hours went by with nothing, no movement, no sound. Maybe they went to sleep, we thought. We went to bed eventually, too. I woke up later that night, needing to use the bathroom. The rain hadn't stopped. I threw on a poncho and stepped outside. The forest was pitch black, the kind of dark that swallows light. And that's when I heard voices again. They were distant but moving, soft whispers coming from somewhere beyond the trees. I looked at their tent. The zipper was open. No one was inside. A cold pulse went down my spine. I ran back, shaking Mia awake. "Mia, they're gone." Before she could respond, we both froze. There were footsteps, crunching leaves behind our tent. Slow, careful. I grabbed my pocket knife, told her to pack fast, and unzipped the tent just a little. The 2 men were standing in the rain, less than 10 feet away. Their faces were completely blank. No expression, no emotion. Just watching. I shouted for Mia to run. We bolted through the trees, bags half open, mud splashing up our legs. I didn't look back until we were near the edge of the trail, and when I did, the two men were still standing there, perfectly still in the clearing. We sprinted the rest of the way down the mountain. When we reached the car, the silver sedan was still parked there, but the passenger door was open again. We drove straight to a gas station and called the police. A few days later, an officer told me the car belonged to a missing older man who vanished 2 weeks prior. They found his campsite, too, that same small tent. His belongings were gone. They never found him, and they never found the two men. To this day, I still see their faces in my dreams, drenched in rain, staring through the dark. I travel for work a lot. Different cities, different hotels, same routine. After a while, you start craving silence, real silence. So, whenever I had a free day between assignments, I'd find a hiking trail near wherever I was staying. That week, I was in rural Pennsylvania, staying at a small business hotel outside a town called Black Hollow. My work wrapped up early, so I decided to hike one of the longer forest trails nearby before my flight home. The weather was perfect, cool, cloudy, and quiet. About an hour into the trail, I saw a man sitting on the ground just off the path. His head was tilted down, hood covering his face. I thought maybe he was resting, so I walked past quietly. That's when he lifted his head and just stared at me. No expression, no greeting, just eyes following me as I passed. I felt uneasy, but kept walking. About 2 hours later, I stopped to eat on a fallen log. I was unwrapping my sandwich when I saw movement in the distance. The same man walking straight toward me. I packed my things immediately and started walking again, trying to keep a steady pace. But soon, I heard footsteps behind me. Fast, heavy ones. When I turned around, he was jogging toward me. I froze. He stopped a few feet away, panting slightly, then reached into his pocket and said, "Hey, you dropped this." He held out a wallet. It wasn't mine. It was old, cracked, and completely empty. "I didn't drop anything," I said quietly. He smiled faintly. "Take it." I didn't know what else to do, so I took it. He said, "You're welcome," and walked off in the opposite direction. I stood there for a minute, heart pounding. What the hell was that? When I finally made it back toward the trailhead, the sun was setting, long shadows stretching across the dirt. My car came into view, and that's when I saw it. A shadow crouched behind it. I stopped cold. The figure didn't move, just stayed there, hidden on the driver's side. I quietly slipped to the passenger side, unlocked it, and climbed in. The moment I did, the figure lunged, yanking at the locked driver's door and screaming, "Give it back!" It was him. I reversed out of there so fast I nearly crashed. The man ran back into the woods, vanishing between the trees. When I reached the nearest police station, I handed them the wallet and told them everything. The officer opened it and frowned. There was a photo tucked in one of the folds that I swear hadn't been there before. It was of a young man sitting on the same trail, the same one I'd been on, and written in pen under it were 3 words. He took it back. They never found that man again. It was late October, cool air, golden leaves, perfect hiking weather. My friends and I usually hike together, but everyone was busy that weekend, so I decided to go solo. I chose a long loop trail that wrapped around the foothills outside a small Tennessee town called Red Haven. I'd been there before. It was quiet and beautiful. A few hours into the hike, I saw a man coming toward me. I waved, just being polite, but as he got closer, I noticed he had no backpack, no water, nothing. That's when I got nervous. As we passed, he suddenly stopped and asked, "Where's your group?" I froze. How did he know I usually hiked with friends? I lied and said, "They're a few minutes behind me." He stared for a few seconds too long, smiled, and said, "Good," before walking away. My stomach sank. I decided to make camp far off the main trail, just to feel safer. As night fell, the forest turned silent. Not peaceful silent, the kind of silence that presses against your ears. Then came the footsteps, slow, careful, circling my tent. I stopped breathing. Whoever it was stopped too. I waited, muscles aching from staying still. Hours passed, no more sound. When dawn came, I peeked out. Nothing. I packed up quietly and turned to leave, and that's when I saw them. Footprints. Clear, human footprints, just a few feet behind where I'd slept. My chest tightened as I realized they had been standing there, watching me for hours. I ran. I didn't stop until I saw my car again. To this day, I never go hiking alone, because whoever was out there, they knew I was alone.